And while we're at it, we might as well just go ahead and rip this band-aid off now. Fuck Catherine of Aragon too. She was just as power hungry as any of the other graspers, and she was dedicated to a religion that was oppressing the poorest and most in need of England. People like to frame Catherine of Aragon's whole thing as like this poor, downtrodden wife. Oh, poor thing. She was this loyal wife for 20 years. She was the figurehead of Catholicism in England at the time. She walked around torturing herself with hair shirts and like fasting and starving herself. She was a religious extremist and bigot. Some people are like, oh, poor Catherine, she never should have been hoisted from the throne. My babies, she wanted Spain to invade England. And do you know who that actually would have hurt and killed? All the poor people. But she didn't care as long as she got to keep her throne. Because that's what important. That was the thing with her. She wanted to keep that throne. She wanted to keep that power because God had given it to her. And she didn't care about people starving in the streets. She was sewing shirts for Henry, right? When Anne Boleyn was sewing shirts for the poor. Keep that in mind. She was more dedicated to a church that was crushing people than the people she was supposed to lead and protect. Her children of the nation, right? And like, please don't get it twisted and think that this woman was fighting for love. She was not fighting for love. She was fighting for position, power, money, Catholicism, the Pope. And she was actively against the Reformation, which, keep in mind, like, the actual moral people who were the foundation of that Reformation, like Thomas Cranmer, Anne Boleyn, their drive for that was because they believed that for them to get redeemed to get into heaven, they had to take care of the least and the poorest in the country. They thought that was their job. This one, on the other hand, happy to live on the crushed backs of the poor. Happy to have the church exploiting people. Loved it, was all about it, supported it 100%. So, fuck Catherine of Aragon too.